welcome. Hola, what's good? Hey, y'all, hey. You are tuned in to Circle Up with Amanda Heard. What's good, y'all? Here we are, episode 5, season 3. Our vision boards necessary. I cannot wait to share my opinion with you guys. Listen, stop what you're doing. Run over to our Facebook or Instagram page. Look for the photo that says our vision boards necessary. Underneath that, I want you to leave a comment. I want you to leave either yes or no, thumbs up or thumbs down. I want you to leave some kind of gift, some kind of emoji, something that lets me know what your opinion is about this topic. Listen, if you have a vision board, I would love for you to share that vision board with us. If you're feeling bold and courageous, go ahead and drop that in the comments. Let us see what you've been up to. Let us see what you're seeking out for. In the meantime, I want you to grab your snacks, drinks, and chairs, and let's get ready to circle up. Hey y'all, hey, thanks again for tuning in to Circle Up. I am super excited that you chose to dive into this topic with me. Are vision boards necessary? So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it, right? So many of you that are listening have probably made a vision board somewhere in this lifetime, somewhere along your journey. However, there are some of you who may have the understanding of what a vision board is and may have heard about vision boards along the journey, but have never created a vision board, right? And then there's some of you who have never even heard of a vision board. Like, what the heck is a vision board, right? So for those of you who have no idea what a vision board is, here, I'll give you a nugget the best way I know how. So a vision board is pretty much this board where you lay out all of your wants, your desires, your dreams, the things that you see yourself moving in, the things that you want to see yourself moving in. It's things that pretty much are like strong goals that you want to see yourself growing in within the upcoming time frame, right? And that time frame is completely up to you. Many people will say, you know, you have to be realistic and which is absolutely true, because with any goals, in order to set a goal and achieve the goal, it's going to have to be realistic, right? But the coolest thing about vision boards is you set that time, like you set that deadline. Some people do yearly vision boards. So in the beginning of the year, every single year, they would create the vision board that kind of lays out the foundation of what they want to see themselves achieve by the end of the year, right? Me personally, when I create vision boards, I like to create vision boards that don't have timestamps. And I know that can be weird, but I just like to get all of the things that I see myself moving, growing, stretching in on this board. And I like to see how it falls into place, right? So it's really not a short-term type goal thing. I like to consider it an endless thing. And so I don't make many vision boards, but when I do create them, that's how I like to go about them. Some people like to make extremely short goal vision boards. So if you're listening, the key here is pretty much like a bowl of goals, a board of goals. And I've learned that you can pretty much make vision boards through just about anything these days. Like 2 years ago, I created a vision board digital. So it was really cool. I went on like this website called Canva, and I got a blank canvas, and I began to go through all the different designs and web things and cut and paste all the things that I desired to put on my vision board, and pasted it right there. And I was able to put it in my phone and carry it with me wherever I went. And so that was actually super beneficial. And you'll learn a little bit more about why it was beneficial as we get a little deeper into this conversation. So that pretty much sums up in a nutshell what vision boards are, right? So let me tell you this story. So This is going to be funny to some, but it's the truth behind the scenes, y'all, okay? So listen, a couple years ago, maybe more than a couple now, it had to at least be like 5 years, maybe a good 5 years ago, my sister calls me up. And she's like, hey, I'm super excited. I'm about to throw this vision board party. I got all the sisters a ticket. It's on this day. We're going to have snacks. We're going to have, good things to drink. And she was like, we're going to have laughs. It's going to be fun. Ooh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Now, just a little side note, this sister is a sister that is a fan of vision boards, right? So this to her, I'm sure, was like extremely exciting. To me, I was all in for the goodies. I was all in for the snacks, the laughs, the good times, the togetherness. Yes, you have me. You have all of my attention. I'm ready. I'm there, right? So as she's excited and she's talking about what we can expect at this vision board party and when it is and this, that, and the third, I mean, I lie to you not. I am smiling from ear to ear and I'm like, ooh, I can't wait and da 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 da. But the inside of me was like, honey, why in the world would you purchase me a ticket to a vision board party? I don't want to go to no vision board party. And what you gonna do? Everybody gonna sit in a circle and cut and paste like we in kindergarten? Like, I was for real in the inside, like tripping. I was like, why would she do this? Why? I feel like I have to go because she purchased this ticket. So I'm thinking like, I'm the only one feeling like this, right? And so it's funny because as I learned a little down the line that I wasn't the only one. I was not the only one that was like that. It was like, hold up, wait a minute. Nobody wanted to sit here and create these vision boards. Like, what a waste of time. No, we ain't got time for that. And so, anyhow, fast forward a little bit. It's the day of the vision party, and we all show up at my sister's house, and we get there, and she has a vision board host, and the host is there, and she's smiling, and she's, her spirit is just beautiful, and she's just like, I'm so excited. Are y'all excited? Da, 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 da. And everybody is just like in their little mood where they're just like happy to be around each other and don't really know what to expect, but at the same time think we kind of understand, like, oh, we just gonna sit down, laugh, giggle and cut and paste all night, right? No. That is not how the story went. So as we're sitting there, everybody is going through all these magazines because, how vision boards mainly go about is, you have a whole lot of magazines or newspapers or scrapbooks that you flip through the pages and you cut out like words that are encouraging, inspiring, words that kind of state where you want to be, what you want to do, pictures that encourage you, that motivate you. And so we're passing around these magazines, we're flipping through the magazines, we're laughing, we're giggling, we're having a good time, and then boom, here goes the host. The host starts asking all these detailed questions, right? And when I say detail, I mean honey was detailed. Like, she knew how to get to the root of your vision, okay? And so at the time, I was like, I felt pressure, like, oh, why are you asking me these questions? Do I have to answer this right now? I remember being like, I don't really want to answer that right now. But do I have to answer that? She was like, no, you don't have to answer. But I'm really sitting here like, geez, she is getting to the root of this vision. And so as she began to pull and as she began to speak and as she began to talk, I realized that the whole while I was so frustrated and didn't want to come to this vision party and was so just feeling the way that I was feeling about vision boards and vision parties is because my vision was uncertain. My vision was unclear. Like, I wasn't certain. I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be, what I thought life was going to look like or end up for me. I was just so uncertain in so many areas that to have or create a vision made it frustrating. And I've learned, or have grown to learn, that many times when people get irritated or get upset or go against vision boards, or creating these things, is a lot of times because there's a lack in their personal vision. And first things first, I love to throw out there is that I strongly believe God oversees our vision any way it goes, right? However, I do believe that we still have to take that time and sit down and find our focus in the things that we desire, that we want to accomplish in life. And when we take that back to the Father, I believe that's something that He helps us with. So He guides us and leads us in the ways that He desires for us. And a lot of the times when our focus is completely off, He has a way of aligning it. And when we cancel Him out of that, we find ourselves going in circles over and over and over again. So our ways are never His ways. His ways are always the greater ways. However, it's still important that we start somewhere, and vision boards is a perfect place to start. So going back now to the story. So as we were there, and the lady, the host, she was pulling, she was digging, she was asking all these questions, and she was really just getting deep. And what I mean by that is she was saying different things like, well, where do you see yourself in the next, so-and-so? And then she would say, if I answer that question, she'd have a question for that question. And then there was a question for that question. So that's what I mean when I say she was digging deep. Like, she did not allow you to answer with that first thought answer and be like, okay, that's it. Like, no, she made you dig deep. And so I absolutely love her to this day for that. But then I was like, oh my gosh, she is tripping. Like, I already answered the question. Why are you looking for more? Right. Right. But so anyhow, that night, I remember that was a time of my life when I was literally sitting in silence. I remember that was a time in my life where I was seeing so many different things. I was going through so many different challenges. I remember a lot of times when I felt like I couldn't share the things that I was experiencing. And so I dealt with a lot of aggravation and frustration. And so I found myself, as she was asking questions and as I was flipping through books, instead of putting things on there that was at the top of my mind, like, ooh, I want to vacate this year and next year, and ooh, I want to draw near to my family and this, that, and the third. I found myself finding words that were encouraging, or that was encouraging that place of silence in me to break free from. And so I remember cutting and pasting all these words, and I built this vision board based on the boldness and the courageousness that I was seeking to pretty much live out in, to pretty much grow up in. And I put that board together, and we finished laughing. We finished, hanging out and having a good old time. And honestly, I thought that board was gonna be in the back of my closet for God knows how long. Only God knows how long. And that was that, right? And so I remember before we were leaving, she was like, make sure you put this vision board somewhere where you have to see it, every day. And, it's just something so that that you're seeing these reminders, and that so it helps you move towards the goals, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, where am I going to hang this big white poster board? She is tripping. I am not about to hang up this big white poster board somewhere in my house that I got to see it over and over again, because it's like a scrap. It's a piece of scrap. Like, it's not going to look good with the pictures on the wall. It's not going to look good in the front room. I have a husband and 2 kids, a dog. Like, it's not going in our room. Like, where can I hang this? I don't know. Some of y'all probably, are like my mommy and likes to hang like your children's like cute little arts and crafts and things that they do at school on the refrigerator, and leave them on your room, on your walls in your room, or on the dressers and stuff in your room. Well, I'm not that kind of mommy. Newsflash, I'm not that kind of mommy. When my kids give me all those cute little things that they made at school, they either, if I'm going to save them, they literally go into like this big scrapbook that we can flip pages just like a photo album, or they end up getting trashed. Shh, don't tell them that though. But anyhow, so when she tells this to me, I'm like, where does she think this is supposed to go? Like, do she have vision boards just sitting around her house? Because this is not about to happen. I ain't gonna do it. No. So I leave. I get home. I'm happy. I'm thinking about, what happened, what took place, and I'm thinking about how I'm reliving some of the questions that she asked me, and I was feeling a little disturbed in the inside, but I didn't let it kind of overtake my night. I just remember rethinking about some of the things that she asked me. And so the last thing that dwelled on me is when I did get home and I brought that board out of the car, brought it upstairs into the home, and I'm like, okay, now what do I do with this board? I'm not going to throw it away because I put a lot of work into this board. And although it is not the prettiest board in the world, I'm going to hold on to it for a little bit, at least a little bit. I'm going to show it to somebody, let me be proud for a little bit, right? And so I remember we have this storage room right in the center of our home. And so I opened up the door and there was just a blank door. There was nothing on that door. So it's a storage room and you open the door, just blank door. So I was like, oh, this is a good place to hang it, because every time I go into the storage room, I'll be able to see it. Nobody else can see it if they're walking through the house. And I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. So I hung up that board in the storage closet, right? And it was so crazy because I ended up seeing that vision board more often than I thought I would see it. But I didn't see it enough to continue to push and work for the goals that were on that vision board. And so it was super exciting for every time I would open that storage room door and I seen that board, and I would sit there and I would pause for a moment and I would look at all the things. And as I looked at all the different things on my vision board, it would have my mind just like going. Like I would start thinking and processing some of the things and some of the emotions I was going through as I made that vision board, and how it made me feel if I was to accomplish some of those things, some of the goals that was on the vision board. So I love the way it made me feel every time I seen it. But my problem was I didn't see it enough. And so I would close the door, go on about my life, do what I do best, come back every so often, see it again. And it was just amazing. The coolest thing about it is I remember one day I went and I looked at that vision board, and one of the things that was on the vision board had came to pass, and I did not even know, or not know, but more so remember that was one of the things on my vision board. And when I seen that, it excited me so much that it made me want to, pay a closer attention to the things that were on there. And so I started looking at it a little more than often, and it made me really start fighting for those goals. But long story short, with that particular vision board, I never put too much focus into that vision board. So it seemed like it took forever for that board to complete itself. And when I say forever, I mean forever, ever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. Okay? It was a long time. And so I remember the next time, better fast forward a few years ahead of that time, my sister again calls with her lovely host of the vision board parties, and like, hey, I'm doing another vision board party, got everybody a ticket, it's on this day, I'm so excited. I remember the last time she started talking about the last time, going on and on and on about it, this, that, and the third. And she was like, another one of our close sister friends was gonna be there, right? And so I was like, ooh, I want to go because I ain't seen this sister in a long time. So I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be real good. Here I go again, wanting to go for the laughs, the drinks, and the good time, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, here I go again, finding myself in another situation where I'm about to be in this room and I'm about to be tortured because I do not have a set vision. Again, like, how is this happening a few years after it already happened, right? And the funny thing about it is it was the same vision board host. Oh, I love her. I love her. But I know that she knows her work, right? So I get there and I'm like, okay, here we go again. So I'm a little nervous while I'm there because I'm thinking in my head, like, what am I going to put on this vision board? What am I going to put on this vision board? What can I put on this vision board? What can I put on this vision board? Nothing is coming to mind. My mind is completely blank. I'm thinking I'm going to be the only one in the room with a blank vision board, right? And so everybody starts laughing. Everybody's here. They go again, passing out those magazines, cutting, snipping, gluing, laughing, excited, writing things down. Everything was just, going good, going fantastic. Alongside, my vision board was completely blank. It was just empty. And if I rewind a little bit in this story, I remember before we even got started, this time the vision host was like, okay, I need everybody to get a blank piece of paper and I'm going to ask you a few questions and I want you to write the answer on the vision board. She asked about 3, 4, maybe even 5 questions and tell me why my answer to all those questions was blank, 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 blank. I have nothing. Oh my gosh. So going forward again to when everybody was cutting, laughing, and doing all this stuff, I was just like, oh my gosh, here I am. So of course it draws attention. And so the host, she asks me, again, she begins to, ask me a question. And y'all know how she is. When she asks me a question, it normally ends with another question, right? So she asked me a question, I answered the question. She asked me a question to the answer that I answered the question with. And now I'm feeling like, here we go again. Do I have to answer that? She's like, no. And I'm glad that, it wasn't a hostile type situation or anything like that. It was just like because of how I was feeling, like the emotions, the emptiness and all that stuff that I was in. I wasn't comfortable answering that, but answering the questions because my answer to most of the questions were blank. They were just empty. And I'm like, dag, here I go again, lacking vision. And so I realized that a lot of things weren't taking place. I wasn't accomplishing many things because my vision was dull. And I'm like, I've been here before. Why am I in this circle again? So we're just going to cut that story short. And I'm just going to fill you guys in on my answer to, are vision boards necessary? I 100% believe that vision boards are necessary. And this is why my belief stands firm in that area. I believe that when we get those thoughts, those emotions, those feelings on paper, on canvas, when we get all of those things flushed out of our system, even when they are blank, and we begin to just sit down, take a moment and picture ourselves moving, growing, stretching in an area of something that we enjoy, something that we like, something that we desire. I believe that it's something that begins to put that seed of motivation inside of us, right? I believe that the next important thing, and this is why I believe that vision boards are so important or necessary. I believe because when we begin to put those things on paper and we see them time and time again, that motivation is stirred up and it's stirred up and it's stirred up, and we begin to lock our minds into the very things that we're seeing, and then we begin to move out on those things. So it's like it's almost like they're activating us to move in the things that we want to accomplish in life. It's just like I hear people say all the time when they're trying to help build up people's when they're trying to help people build up their confidence, they tell you, like, get sticky notes and write these amazing things about yourself on them and place them on your mirror. So when you wake up in the morning to wash your face, brush your teeth, you're seeing those amazing things that you are, and you're reading them, and you're beginning to grow in that boldness and that confidence that is what you are. And when you see yourself in the mirror, you see the things that you're reading out loud, and you begin to shift your entire attitude. You begin to shift your entire being. You begin to shift everything that you once were thinking into the things that you're seeing. And so I think that's just so important. Why we should really find ourselves making these vision boards. I believe in the time that we're living in right now, Facebook, Instagram, social media has become our vision board. We begin to look at Facebook, social media, and all these other people's Keeping Up with the Joneses, and all of this fun stuff, and we begin to make that our vision. We begin to grow and move and desire the things that others have versus the things that are good for us, other the things that are set aside for us, other than the things that we can be growing in, we can be prospering in, we can be standing firm and making a movement in the world as well. But when we find ourselves drawn to the canvas of Facebook or Instagram, that is the only thing that we begin to move about in. But when we see ourselves seeking the things that we desire to move and grow in, and we add Christ in the center of it all, then we will be more than we ever imagined. We will see those things coming to pass. And I believe we will begin to create vision after vision after vision. It will become clearer and plainer and clearer. I believe every time that we see something see something grow to pass off that vision board, it will birth new vision. And that vision will birth new vision, and that vision will birth new vision. So I believe that vision boards are extremely necessary, and they help us grow in everything that God has desired and called us to be. So are vision boards necessary? Absolutely. That's my opinion. That's what I choose to stand on. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think, how you guys feel, and if you've ever made a vision board before. Thanks again so much for tuning in, guys. I hope that this little short story was something that encouraged you, inspired you, even made you decide to create a vision board and move forward in it. If you need any help creating a vision board, don't feel ashamed to reach out to me, and I can get you connected with a vision board host herself or himself, and that will help you with all the ideas, all the foundations, all the things that you need to grow to be the best you that you can be. Until then, grab your snacks, drinks, and chairs, tell somebody about us, and don't forget to circle up next week. Hey y'all, I hope that you enjoyed this message. I hope it was something to pull you, stretch you, grow you right where you are. I hope that you have decided to create a vision board for yourself. If this is your first time tuning in to Circle Up with Amanda Hurd, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at CircleUp_AH. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel at Circle Up with Amanda Hurd. This is something that you do not want to miss. Listen, guys, we always have some encouraging messages posted on our social media sites. We always have something uplifting every Tuesday to help you place your focus in an area that's going to help grow you and stretch you to the best you that you can be. Do not forget to tune in every Friday for a brand new episode. Until next time, love you lots. Bye.